So I'm recording these videos for you to help you catch up. And if you've missed anything or if you just want to hear it again, then this will let you watch it in your own time. So I'm going to go over simple selection. That's simple if statements in PHP. So with that, we're going to look at how we can represent the information that we need for an if statement in a flowchart, why we need an if statement, and we're going to show how we write very simple if statements in our PHP. So why do we need to do this? Well, so far we have been running our code in what is called sequence. So each line runs one after the other. There's no different paths through the code. You can't go back and run anything again. We can't choose what we're running. But using an if statement, you can make those sorts of choices. And if statements rely on a condition and a block of code that only runs if that condition is true. So an example of a very simple single branch if statement, we would describe this as if you are hungry, buy cookies, or if hungry is equal to true, buy cookies. If it's not equal to true, nothing happens and we go straight to the end. As a quick recap for flowcharts, our terminators are the start and finish. Simple start and finish. They are rounded, sort of squared off ovals. Our processes are the rectangles. So something is happening. We're buying cookies. And the decision is the conveniently alliterative diamond. So we have a decision diamond. So as I've just explained, if hungry is true, if you are hungry, follow the true path. If false, if you're not hungry, do nothing. Okay, so this one is just showing if it is raining, grab an umbrella. If raining is equal to true, grab an umbrella. If your marks are greater than 60, you pass the test. Otherwise, you didn't pass the test. So some code for this. So we've got some simple HTML tags that will let us potentially display it a bit more neatly. We've got a variable called score that holds the value 68. So for the moment, we're just defining the variable called score and we're storing 68 in it. And the test is done against what we've typed up here. So if that score, so whatever is in this score variable, is greater than 60, it will print out you passed the test. So we can say that because the question is score greater than 60 is true, because it will expand, it swaps out what's in that score variable, so it will expand to if 68 is greater than 60, do this. Well, 68 is greater than 60, so we do that. We print you pass the test. Okay, so that condition is known as a Boolean expression. And we use some special operators in those expressions. So we were using greater than before, and there are some others here that we can also use. So double equal sign means is equal to. Remember that the single equal sign means assign to. It's the assignment operator, so it stores a value from the right to the left. This one tests if it's equal. exclamation mark, sometimes known as a bang, means not equal to. Less than or greater than, and greater than you should be familiar with, and less than or equal to and greater than or equal to, the thing to remember for those is that the equals is always on the right. So some examples. Now we can read some of these examples in different ways. So say A and B are variables, for example. So in PHP those would have $1 in front of them. And if A was 2 and B was 2, then A is equal to 2, A is equal to B, that is 2 is equal to 2, would be true. 12 is not equal to 7, well that's clearly true as well, because 12 and 7 are not equal. 25 is less than 84, also true. 248 is greater than 55, also true. So you're just asking a simple question. Is 248 greater than 55? If the answer is yes, then it's true, and the code inside the curly brackets will run. Now again, if these num1 and num2 were variables, it would depend on what was in them. So for example, if num1 was 83 and num2 was 21, that would expand to 83 is less than or equal to 21. Well, is 83 less than 21? No, and it's not equal to 21. That statement is false because 83 is not less than or equal to 21. If we use the same numbers, 83 is greater than or equal to 21. Yes, that's true because 83 is greater than 21. So very simple, nothing new in terms of the comparisons that we're going to make. So, some examples. We create a variable called age. We set it to 10. If that variable is greater than 16, you're old enough to drive. That value there will be substituted with whatever's in the age variable. So if 10 is greater than 16, print you're old enough to drive. Well, that won't print because 10 is not greater than 16. We've got one as well here that shows what happens after the if statement. So we've got a variable called height, which is 10. If height is less than 12, we print low bridge. But then, whatever height is, we print this line here. So whether height's 12, less than 12 or not, in this case, 10, which is substituted for height, is less than 12, so we print low bridge, and we also print proceed with caution. If we change this to 15, we wouldn't print low bridge because 15 is not less than 12, but we would still print proceed with caution. Okay, so what you're going to do is download some score code. So this is the code that calculates the score. You're going to upload it to the web server and you're going to check that it works as you expect. And then you're going to edit that code, a very simple change, so that you only pass the test if your mark is greater than or equal to 75. And then you're going to download the HTML and make it work so that the form collects the information about the score and sends it to your PHP form to deal with. It's just a simple example of what you need to do. So you'll be given the form that looks like this, and you need to make it work so that when you type something in here, so as I've already done, let's have 76. When we submit it, it's either going to say you have passed the test, or if we put one that's lower than 75, it will print nothing. Okay, so that is all you need to do. If it's 75 or over, you'll get a message saying you have passed the test. If it's less than 75, you'll get a blank screen.